Good morning, Bergen Elementary families. Thank you for joining us this morning. It is 10:31, so in the interest of time, we have a lot of information. I am going to get started with our presentation. I am Mrs. Goodstein, for those of you who have not met me. I am the school director here at Bergen Arts and Science Charter Elementary. I also would like to make sure that everyone is aware that this information session is just about elementary. So if you have middle school or high school questions, the directors at each of those schools will be hosting their own information sessions. So questions and information will only be for elementary. If I could ask someone to please use the chat function and just type me a message so that I know you can all hear me. I can't see you, so please just type hello if you can hear me. And Miss Belfield is actually going to be monitoring the chat for me, so once she sees that, okay, we are all good. Excellent. Okay. So on Monday, I did email you all a very comprehensive email with a lot of information. I did ask that everybody read through that information to help facilitate and make sure that everybody's on the same page. At this point, all of our families have been asked to identify if their children are going to come to school hybrid or remote. Once we got all that information, we were able to move forward with a plan. So I know a lot of families were wondering why it's been taking a little while for us to get to you with this information, but we could not put a plan in place until we knew exactly how many students we were dealing with on A day and B day, and how many students were going to be learning remotely. Now that we have all that information, we're ready to share that with you. So the plan for today is I am going to go through the email step by step. I am going to hit on some of the important information that I think that you should know. When we finish, I am going to ask Ms. Belfield to start reading off some questions to me that may not have been answered during the session. Again, we have a lot of information to cover, so I do ask that you follow along and utilize the documents that I previously shared because they all do contain a lot of information. The I Learn Schools reopening plan is a very comprehensive plan that outlines what we're going to be doing on the elementary level, but today I'm going to show you what those schedules are going to look like. It's not going to be a specific schedule for your child. I did put that in the email. It was just a sample, but it will give you an idea of what needs to happen for your child when they're either learning fully remote or on our hybrid model. So starting with my email, one of the first things that I do want to address is orientation. In the past, we did open up the gymnasium so that parents could come in and find out who their child's teacher was going to be. They can meet with the school nurse to give immunization information. They can get all of the packets. Since the pandemic, we have made leaps and bounds in terms of being able to do a lot of things electronically. So all of our information and paperwork that would have been distributed at orientation was attached to the email I sent on Monday. Class lists are accessible to all of you on the database by logging in into your child's account. You'll be able to see if your child is in A section, B section. We also attached in the orientation packet a list of all the teachers with their name and their email address. So if you are new to our school, or if you're not familiar with some of the maybe upper grade teachers, you'll know that 2A is Miss Sinimo, and her email is provided as well. Okay, so another document that I shared with you was the Department of Health's guidelines. We are following very closely the guidelines that are set for us. Our custodial staff has been here all summer working around the clock, getting the classrooms ready. We actually have our SOAR program going on right now. So we have really been able to practice what we're saying that we're going to be doing when your children return. So that's in terms of cleaning the rooms, cleaning the surfaces, making sure students are maintaining social distancing, wearing their masks, checking temperatures. Okay. So the first thing on my email was the schedule. So I'm going to pull up here on the screen a copy. It is not here. I apologize. I'm using someone else's computer. I did want to share with you a copy of the schedule that I emailed to all of you. Sorry, I have my IT here helping me out, and Mr. Gaverchin. I had shared in the email a sample copy of what a daily A-B would look like. If you have that in front of you, great, I can kind of talk through it. The children in elementary are going to be asked to log in 3 times a day for their attendance. So attendance is going to be really, really important for our hybrid students as well as our fully remote. The times for these schedules will be shared by your child's teacher probably the end of next week, the middle to the end of next week. The teachers are returning on Monday, and the first thing on their to-do list is to complete their schedules of when they're going to have reading, when they're going to have math, and when they're going to have the social studies or science block, which will be alternating. So if your child is on the B section and they are learning remotely, it's their day to be remote, the teacher will provide, as I showed you on the schedule that I attached, at 9:09, let's say, reading is going to begin. So if your child is at home, they should be logging on at that time, and the teachers will have their webcams, their speakers, their headset speakers, to make it clear for the students to be able to hear them, and they will begin doing the lesson. When they are finished delivering the lesson for reading, let's say, the children at home will be told, boys and girls learning at home, it is now time, you can log off and go on to your Seesaw, Schoology, whichever account they'll be using in that grade, and complete the assignment that goes with the lesson we just completed. So every day, children should be logging in at home, whether it's their hybrid day at home or their fully remote day, children should be logging in 3 times. These times will be shared on a schedule similar to what I showed as a sample. These will be shared by the teachers either midweek or late next week, but definitely before school starts. Another question that did come up was in terms of the first day of school for everyone. So everybody's first day of school is essentially September 8th. Whether they are in person or at home is going to vary. So because our first day of school is a Tuesday, our B group students who learn in person on Tuesdays and Thursdays will be coming to school on that first September 8th. But our A group students, it's still their first day of school, but it's their first day at school at home. So please make sure, I know there was some confusion on the email I sent. It's when I indicated students' first day, it was first day in person. So A group, first day in person will be September 9th. We did post the class sections, as I mentioned, online. So to help facilitate and maintain social distancing and getting everybody in safely, we do ask that you send your child in with either a sticker on their shirt, holding an index card, a Post-it, something to indicate what grade and section they're in. So if my child is coming in and they're going to be in KB with Miss Pinto, I'm going to write KB on a Post-it or a little sticker. And as my child enters the front doors and gets their temperature checked while wearing their mask, we'll know where we can send them. and it will be done quickly so that children are not lined up outside. We really just want to make sure that everything is done safely and quickly so that we can get everybody in their classrooms and really get to learning. If you don't know the teacher's name or your child, if you have a child in 2nd or 3rd grade who knows that their teacher is going to be Miss Schussler, when they come in, they might not have to carry anything as long as they can communicate with us, I'm in Miss Schussler's class. We did call a couple of families because we needed to switch the A and B group. We did follow the alphabet format. A to L is A group and M through Z is B group. But on some days we did find that one group might have been a little bit, had more students than B group. So we did already contact those families. So if you did not hear from us, you will stay with the group that your child's last name, what their letter appears. Please also note that if you indicated that your child was going to be fully remote, this cannot be changed at this point. We did a lot of work in terms of making sure that the social distancing is maintained in the classroom with the desks and the spacing between student and teacher and all of the students. These changes to go from fully remote to hybrid can only be made 2 weeks before the end of the marking period. It is important to know that if you decide to change from hybrid to fully remote, that can be done at any time. You can just call the school office or let the teacher know that this is a decision that you're going to be making. Okay, moving along. On Fridays in the elementary level, we are going to be fully remote for all students. This is going to be a day where all the staff will still be coming to school, and I'm going to show on my screen a sample of what's going to happen on that day, just so everyone is clear. I know there was some questions in terms of specials, so I'm going to display that right now. So this is a sample of our remote day. From 7:30, our teachers report to the building. They're going to come in, they get ready for the day. We're going to have staff meetings and professional development from 8:15 to 9 o'clock. This is going to be a time for all of us to meet via Zoom because we can't have big meetings together, to discuss the week and get some ideas from each other in terms of things that may be working or questions that they might have. Some teachers might be able to share certain things that have worked great in their online classrooms. Then starting at 9 o'clock, we're going to begin doing some guided reading groups. The students who are going to be in these guided reading groups will be identified by the teachers. So what's going to happen based on the Monday to Thursday, the teachers may reach out to specific parents of students to say, I'm going to need your child to log on tomorrow between 9 and 9:30 to do a small guided reading group online with myself and 1 or 2 other students. We are also on Fridays going to have live writing lessons. This is for all of our K-3 students. So when students are in school on the hybrid model, they're going to be getting writing in person on the 2 days that they're in school. The 2 days that they're not in school, they will not be getting that writing lesson because their logins, their 3 logins, are going to be for reading, math, and science or social studies. So Friday is going to be a time for our all virtual students to get the writing lesson live from the teacher that was delivered to the hybrid students on Monday to Thursday. Now, if we have hybrid students that are struggling with the writing lesson, still have some questions, they are welcome to log into this live writing session as well. In 3rd grade, there's going to be math intervention happening for our 3rd grade students because we do follow a partially departmentalized model. There's going to be data analysis happening on this day for the teachers. They're going to be going online. They're going to be grading the work that the hybrid students uploaded on their days at home. We're going to do some more guided reading groups, excuse me. As you can see from, again, this sample, it might be switched up a little. When the teachers come back and they give their feedback, we might have to move some things around. We're also going to be having some opportunities for live art and music. So it's not displayed on this spreadsheet because we do need to speak with Miss Piper and Miss Christian in terms of the timing. But because of our 4-day remote schedule, the students in kindergarten and second grade are going to be getting art for marking periods 1 and 2, and then they'll get music for marking periods 3 and 4. It's a similar model to what our middle school does in terms of ensuring that all the students get the specials. So at some point on Friday, what we're looking at is between 9 and 9:30 and then 9:30 and 10, Miss Piper and Miss Christian are going to be delivering live art and music lessons. And this will be available for all of our students to log on and get either the art. If they are in kindergarten, they'll log into Miss Piper's art lesson. If they are in 3rd grade, they'll log into Miss Christian's music lesson. So a finalized Friday remote plan will also be shared when schedules are shared so that you all are familiar with what's happening. We're going to have lunch for our teachers, and then the afternoon is going to be spent with Zoom tutoring lessons for any students who may have needed it based on the data analysis. And we're going to have common planning across all of our grade levels. This will be a great opportunity for our special ed teachers, our ESL teachers, classroom teachers to collaborate and make sure that their planning for the next week is cohesive and that everyone is on the same page. So this document will be shared, a finalized copy will be shared with families along with schedules when teachers return. Okay, moving on. If there was any confusion about the specials, it is outlined in my email under Friday schedule. Okay, we really want to make sure to ensure a safe and healthy return. Everybody wants the same thing. So we are asking our families, to please make sure to work collaboratively with us to make this healthy, safe return possible. We are asking all families to please take their child's temperature before bringing them to school or putting them on the bus if they are going to be bused by Lodi. I know Hackensack is not doing busing. As far as I know right now, Lodi is doing busing. If we hear anything different, we will let you know. But we are asking every parent to take their child's temperature. And if they have a fever, please keep them home. When the children get to school, they are required to wear a mask. Upon entering, we will have our thermal cameras taking temperatures. There are 2 areas in the school, right on the main floor, away from the classrooms, that have been identified. One room is going to be what I like to call a wait area. So if we have a child who may have walked to school, jogged to school with their parents, had a race to school, who might be a little overheated, if their temperature is showing a little bit high, we're going to have them wait in our wait area. We have water available. The area has air conditioning. The children will wait there for a set period of time, and then we will take their temperature again. If they still have a fever, we will be contacting parents to come and pick them up. Any students who have fevers, any students who have symptoms coming into school or during the day will be brought into the isolation area. So this area is separate from the classrooms. It is separate from the nurse's office. That is because we want to still make sure that the nurse's office is available for students who might have a minor cut or scrape or headache or stomach ache, or, we don't want to mix everyone together. So the isolation area is going to be on our side main lobby. Those of you who are familiar with the school, the doors that you normally come in to go to the gymnasium, to the side there, we have designated an area. There are protective barriers for privacy. There will be an adult present waiting until the parent comes to pick up the child, which leads me to a very, very important request, an expectation. When you start the school, we need to make sure that parent contacts and emergency contacts are up to date. We need to be able to get a parent when we call or an emergency contact when we call. And we need to ask you to please make sure that the emergency contacts or the people that you list are people that will be able to come within a short window of time, less than 30 minutes, to pick up your child. It cannot be someone who will be an hour and a half away or 2 hours away. If your child is exhibiting symptoms, we need to make sure that you designate somebody to come and pick them up within that 30-minute window. We need to make sure that all parent contact phone numbers are correct. So if you need to check this with your child's teacher, or if you want to call the main office, Ms. Shaw or Ms. Burgos will be happy to check that for you. But this is something that is an expectation of our parents, that we have to be able to contact you within the school day. Moving on. The emergency contact list will be shared by the teachers. They'll either send it home. I know Ms. Shaw has it, and that should be sent back within that second day of school with your child. If you are learning all remote, we will ask you to scan it and send it back to us. The students will be wearing face masks all day. This is a requirement. They will be able to take their masks off during, of course, lunch, recess. We have not set any parameters in terms of expectations with masks, but we are asking our parents to be mindful of the mask that you're sending your child in wearing. It should not be offensive. It should not be scary to other children. It should be a school age appropriate face mask, and it should be a face mask that fits their face. So if you are noticing that your child's face mask is often falling down off their nose, that size might not work for them. So please make sure that you are purchasing face masks that actually really fit their faces. On a personal note, I can tell you Disney online sells packs of 4, and they fit perfectly. They are the best that I've been able to find for my daughter. My daughter's 4, and it fits her perfectly. It doesn't fall off her face. So especially for maybe our kindergarten parents, but there are different sizes. But again, please make sure that that mask is fitting their face. If your child does come to school and they forget their mask, we will have some paper ones, disposable ones, on hand, but we will not be able to provide masks to the same children every single day. We just don't have enough. So please make sure you're sending your child every day, but if they forget, we'll take care of them. Don't worry. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away from the camera so that Mrs. Cecere, the Assistant Director of Operations, can speak to you about the next item, which is the free and reduced lunch meal distribution.
Good morning, Bergen families. I'd like to explain how the meal program will be working this year due to our hybrid and all remote learning students. Mascios, our food service company, is offering the option for our parents to pick up the meals for breakfast and lunch for our students. This is offered for both full remote and hybrid students, and we ask that you please check the schedule that is detailed on the website in terms of the pickup times and days, depending on your child's schedule. More information will follow of where you'll be able to pick up the items at our school. We'll be sending that information out to you before school starts. But we do urge you to please check the schedule online so that you are familiar with the days and the times of when you will be able to pick up those meals, depending on your child's schedule. At this time, I'd like to, Mrs. Goodstein will be coming back in to answer some of your questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Cecere. She took my note paper. Excuse me one moment while I get my notes back from Mrs. Cecere. Okay, thank you. So the next on the agenda is the supplies list. Our supply list has been updated on our website. The teachers did not make any revisions at this time because those are the items that they're going to be using. So we do ask a couple of changes from past years. In past years, parents would put all the supplies in a bag with the child's name, they would send it in. We cannot do that this year. We are asking our parents to take the supplies from the list and any items that can fit within a large gallon-sized Ziploc bag, we ask that you do this at home and put a sticker on the Ziploc bag with your child's name, grade, and section. So for example, if there is crayons, markers, pencils, pencil sharpener on the list and they're all in their packaging, take them out of their packaging, put them in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag with a sticker and write your child's name and section. These items will only be used by your child when they're in school. This is also the case for art. There are not going to be large art supplies that are shared by students. The specials teachers are going to be pushing into the classrooms. So Miss Piper will ask the students to take out of their bags any items that they need. If there are activities that are going to be happening that require other items, we will purchase those individually for the students. Okay, items, supplies. Question did come up just while I'm thinking about it. I did get an email with a question. Are students who are fully remote expected to get the items on the list? I would say if you don't have crayons, get crayons because there might be activities that they have to do. Of course, pencils. I would recommend getting the notebooks, and then that way all of your child's work will be, if they're taking notes on the lessons, they'll have those notes for when we do eventually return to school. If we return to school, let's say November, I'm just throwing that date out, your child will be expected to have all of the items from the supply list. Another question did come up regarding birthday parties. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we are not going to be able to celebrate birthday parties. We will continue to do what we've always done. We will give an announcement over the loudspeaker, wishing them a happy, happy birthday. And we just ask that parents find some creative ways to celebrate, with cupcakes at home. But unfortunately, you cannot send in any food or beverages for birthdays. We will continue to be following the guidelines shared by the Department of Health. We have been calling with questions as situations arise. There are guidelines that they have set forth in terms of, in the event that a child in a classroom is sick, what should happen? If there's 2 people sick in the school, what should happen? And if you refer to the Department of Health reopening guidelines that I attached to this email, you'll see on, I think it's the second to last page or the third to last page, there is a scenario and answer column that kind of breaks down, if this happens, the school will do this. If this happens, the school will do this. So we will be in close communication with the Department of Health for any and all situations that do occur. Okay, just another reminder regarding students' temperatures being taken when they enter the school. They will also have their temperatures taken again at lunchtime. Again, this takes me to the issue of pre-medicating or medicating before school. If your child wakes up and they have a fever, please do not medicate your child and send them to school. The medication will wear off, the fever will come back, the child's temperature will be taken at lunch, and we will be calling you to come and pick up your child. So we really need the help of every one of our family members to ensure that our school environment remains safe and healthy for everyone returning. Areas I talked about that have been designated are cafeteria. This was another question that came up. Students will not be eating in their classroom. We are a school, we are very blessed to have a gymnasium and a cafeteria now. So our cafeteria, we were able to identify the maximum occupancy, then identify 25% of that per the guidelines. And the extra desks that have been taken out of the classrooms, the extra desks that have been taken out of the classrooms have been moved into the cafeteria. So every classroom was measured for occupancy. Only the number of desks that are allowed are in that room. So previously we might have had 25 desks in the classroom because we had 25 students. Now, if the classroom can only hold a maximum occupancy of 11, the other desks have been removed and only 11 desks remain in that classroom. So the extra desks have been placed in the cafeteria, and that's where students will be having their lunch. The tables that we previously used didn't allow for the safe social distancing that we were hoping for. Even if we marked off spots that were enough space apart, as we know, young children, they get up, they go to get a straw, they come back, they forget where they were sitting, they sit somewhere else. So this way, there will be desks for the students, and after each lunch period, all of them will be cleaned using all of the cleaning equipment of our custodial staff. This will be done quickly, safely for the next group. We'll still be allowing our students to go out for recess. The only difference is there's not going to be jump ropes. There's not going to be items that everyone's going to be holding. We are probably going to be doing a lot more dance parties, which the kids really like. They love doing the Let's Dance. We're going to do that. We might take some walks just around the block, just a way for the students to get out, get fresh air, take their masks off while maintaining safe social distancing. That takes me now to lunch payments. Moving forward, the school will no longer be accepting any cash payments for lunch or aftercare. All of these must be in the form of a check sent in with your child, or utilizing your mealtime account. And I put the link right in the email, the www.mymealtime.com. This is a really easy and convenient way for you to check your child's balances and update payments right online from the comfort of your home. If you choose to send in payments, they must be in the form of a check. We will not be accepting any cash. I thank you for your understanding in this matter. Okay, new users to Mealtime, when they log in, you'll be asked to create a username and password. You'll also be asked for your child's ID number. It'll say student ID. You can call the school office, and Ms. Shaw and Ms. Burgos can give you your child's ID to be easily entered into that area. I think I mentioned this at the beginning also, but this session is being recorded. So if you missed something I said, or if I'm talking a little fast, I'm sorry. You can access the recording after and play back the information. Another very, very important change is the time that our doors will be opened. In past years, our doors opened at 7:30 for students. The students would come in, they would either go down to the cafeteria for their breakfast, or they would go to the gymnasium and wait lined up with their class. Unfortunately, we are unable to do this because we cannot have large groups like that all together. So our door open time has been changed to 8 a.m. This will allow the teachers, whose contractual time is 7:30, this will allow the teachers time to come in, get to their classrooms, get ready to greet the children at 8 o'clock when they get dropped off. Students will be coming in, going directly to their classroom. Any students that get breakfast, the breakfast will be delivered to the classroom for them. If the numbers are very small of the students who need breakfast, we may consider moving them back down to the cafeteria to eat their breakfast. Again, that's something that we have to plan when we see how many students we have and if our occupancy levels can safely accommodate them. But I do please ask our families, do not drop children off before 8 o'clock. Children cannot be left unattended on the steps or the top level of the school. They absolutely cannot be left here. I can't emphasize that enough. We will have our security here just getting the building ready. So any children that are dropped earlier, their names will be logged and we will be giving you a call. So please just make sure not before 8 o'clock. From 8 to 8:30 is our homeroom period. So that's the window that your child has before they're marked tardy. So our school day technically begins at 8 o'clock. People will be dropping off at 8 o'clock. No one will be marked tardy until after 8:15. My internet, I apologize, my internet just came up that it's a little unstable. Let me just, there we go. So if you missed that last part, 8:15 and after will be when the children will be marked tardy. I do know that the middle school has changed their drop off to 7:45. So if you have a child in the elementary school and the middle school, you should be dropping your middle school child first because their drop off is 7:45, and then heading over here to Madonna Place and dropping your child off at 8 o'clock. For anyone who's new to the school, we do have a one-way street in front of the school where you will be asked to pull up. Security will be outside along with a staff member. You will be motioned. You'll see us standing there. Keep moving, keep moving. We ask cars to pull all the way up to the end. Please don't stop right in front of the door to let your child out. We want to make sure that we're not backing up any traffic. Let your child out. Wherever you pull up, they must get out on the passenger side. Please make sure to adhere to this. We often have cars that go around the cars that are dropping off. So for safety, we please ask that when you put your child in the car for drop off, that they are seated in the passenger rear seat. If you have safety locks, you can roll down your window and let us know, and we can kind of go and do the handle for you and help get the kids out. Somebody will be out there to facilitate this. I am going to just look through some more of my notes before we start with questions. Just to make sure I got everything. I talked about specialist teachers are going to go to the classroom. That's with the exception of physical education. Mr. Familaro will be having the kids in the gymnasium, and he will be practicing safe social distancing. He's been working very closely monitoring some ideas that he can be doing with the students in phys ed. All of our physical education, all of our hybrid students will be getting in-person physical education 1 time a week. So Mr. Familaro has graciously let me pack his schedule completely full where he doesn't have a period free, just to make sure that when the children our hybrid students are in school, they are all getting phys ed at least once, 1 time a week. Our hybrid students, our fully remote students will be getting assignments, which will be coming from Mr. Familaro. They are going to have a bingo choice board where they're going to be given activities that they have to complete throughout the week, and this will have to be uploaded for them to get credit for physical education. So more will be coming from Mr. Familaro. Again, the teachers are going to be back on Monday. We have a lot of professional development planned. We have a lot of things in the works for them. So you'll start seeing things coming through from your child's teacher. Also back to the orientation, I know in the past, on the first day of school, I allowed parents to come in so they could see their child's classroom. That will not be possible due to our current situation, but all of the teachers are going to be told that they must do a recording of their classroom, with a little explanation. This is our reading area. This is where the students will get their homework. These are our objectives for the day. And they're going to upload that to the Class Dojo account. So you can all see what your child's classroom is going to look like. I talked about the temperature checks. Again, I cannot reiterate that enough. Temperatures will be taken. So if your child has a temperature, please keep them at home. I talked about the drop off. Okay, I think at this point we're ready for questions. So I'm going to ask Ms. Belfield to get a little closer to me. So I. Okay, so technology. Our third grade students are going to be doing, following the same model as the upper grades, where they are going to have one-to-one devices. So we have already been, I sent an email earlier this week to the third grade parents, letting them know when they can come and pick up those devices. That is for both hybrid and fully remote. They are going to all have their own device. If we have any other families that are in need of technology for fully remote, our fully remote families, some of our hybrid families may be in need of technology because their child is going to be needing the computer on their day off. That is something, the hybrid, we're still working out whether we're going to have the children take the computers home with them and bring them back on their hybrid day. More information will come for that, but I can definitely right now address the fully remote. You should be sending an email to Mr. Dede, and it's I as in ice cream, DEDE at bergencharter.org. And he will work and coordinate with you when you can come to the school to pick up your child's device. It may, in the younger grades, end up being an iPad if we do not have enough Chromebooks. We do have a large number of Chromebooks, but if we start seeing the numbers getting to full capacity of 400, what will then start to happen is our kindergarten students will be given access to iPads. Mr. Dede has all of the logs of how many devices we have, so he'll be handling all that. So if you would like to schedule with him to pick up a device, and you would be picking it up at the school. What will happen is you will come to the school, our phone number is posted on the door, you'll give us a call, you'll say I am coming to pick up my device, Mr. Dede will be advised, and he'll come and meet you at the door where you'll sign the device form that you are borrowing this device. Ms. Belfield?
Someone asked if we have 2 children, will they get 2 computers?
2 children, okay, depending on what grade your child is in, it might not be 2 computers, it might be a computer and an iPad, as I just mentioned, but yes, 2 pieces of devices will be provided so that they, in the event that they are logging on at the same time, we want to make sure that they're not missing any of their classes.
Just mention that, I don't know if they can hear me, if you are using your own tablet, I posted the requirements for the tablet in the chat on the webinar.
Perfect. If you decide to use your own device, Ms. Belfield did post the requirements for the device on the chat. So please make sure that you open that up and access that.
For students who are fully remote, do they need to wear uniforms?
Okay. Fully remote students do not need to wear uniforms, but I do ask that they not show up for their classes wearing their pajamas, and what they're wearing should be appropriate. You know, making sure that if they're wearing a t-shirt, that what is on the t-shirt is appropriate if they were to come to school in a dress down day. But uniforms are not required. We're scanning the chat. And what's going to happen?
Next week is not fully remote learning.
No, so school does not officially start until the day after Labor Day, which is September 8th. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, that is everybody's first day, but it's not everyone's in-person first day. So on that Tuesday, because it's a Tuesday, it will be the B groups in person, but our A group will be their first day at home. Nothing new yet. Okay. We're getting a lot of the same questions about technology and uniforms and supplies. I also want to say that when this webinar is over, if you have additional questions, I am going to share with the family emails a Google Drive document where you can list your questions in there, and then we will provide the answers for you in the answer column. If it is a question that can be found in our reopening plan, we'll just say, please refer to our reopening plan. This information is there. Any new questions? Okay. Okay. I know Miss Belfield is answering some questions as they come in. It might have been something that was in our reopening plan. It might have been something that I mentioned earlier on during the webinar. So like I said, I'll send out that Q&A. If you give me within an hour after the webinar, I'll set that up. I'll send it all out to you. You all have my email address. Some of you have already been emailing me. So I will, I'm usually really, really good with getting it back to everybody, within that day. So please don't hesitate to email. Some questions have come up about, IEP, 504 meetings, things like that. As many of you know, Ms. Crane did have a baby over the summer. She had a little boy, but she will be coming back on Monday, and she does not start her maternity leave until September 14th. So if you have questions about IEP meetings, about reevaluations, anything along that, please reach out to Ms. Crane because she will be here. When she goes on maternity leave, we do have somebody who will be filling in for her. Her name is Ms. Perez, and she will be reaching out to those families who normally have correspondence with Ms. Crane. Someone is asking, is the first day in person mandatory? I'm not sure. I mean, in person in school, yes, because it's a school day. So if your child's not here, they'll be marked absent. Information is also going to be sent from Mrs. Cecier because a lot of questions have come up about logging in. So just like on a school day, children need to be present in order to be marked present. So your children are expected to be logging in, and we're asking them to log in 3 times a day, and they will not be logging in for that full period. So I think on the schedule I sent, it might have said 9:09 to 9:51. Your child will not be online that entire time. They'll be online approximately 20, 25 minutes, watching the teacher teaching the lesson, getting an understanding of what's going to be taught. At that point, then when they log off, the remainder of the time they're going to be completing the assignment. So I've had a lot of families at home saying, I'd like to wait. The lessons are all being recorded, and the teachers will be sharing them at the end of the day with all the families. Here was the reading lesson, here was the math lesson, here was if it's a social studies day, the social studies lesson, science lesson. But that is not to be used in place of your children attending. We want to create some sense of normalcy as much as we can. So having your children logging in and being part of the learning, as I mentioned, the teachers are going to have webcams, they're going to have headsets. The children at home are going to be able to see the smartboard that the teacher is delivering the lesson on. So we do require children to log in, and teachers are going to be taking attendance. So if your child needs to log in for reading at 9:09, and I know these are crazy times, it's just our schedule, our bell schedule. If your child needs to log on at 9:09, we're going to give them a few minutes, maybe 5-6 minutes, and then the teacher's going to begin taking attendance. So children who do not log in are going to be marked absent for that class. And if they miss all 3 in a day, it counts on our records as being absent. Our fully remote students really have the choice if they want to log in on A day or B day. So if you're going to have those schedules, because the teachers are going to send home the A and B schedule with every child. So if one day you want your child, if you're fully remote and you want your child to log in at 9:09, I keep using 9:09, 9:09 for their reading lesson, but you on Wednesday, that's not going to work for you because you have an appointment, or you can have them do the B day then. Okay, I've been sticking with an A schedule, Monday, Wednesday, but you know what? Today I have something else coming up, so I'm going to have to do Monday, Thursday. In these cases, you can also reach out to the teacher, just let them know, my child is fully remote. We would like you to give the teacher some type of an idea of which schedule you're going to follow. But if you have to deviate from that schedule, that's fine. But for attendance purposes, we will need you to say, Sheila Goodstein is fully remote, but I'm going to have her logging in on the A group days for the lessons for attendance purposes. Again, communication with the teachers. Class Dojo is amazing for our new families in kindergarten. It is, if you're not familiar with it, the teachers are going to send all the information. You can have it all on your phone. You'll be able to see messages that come up. They might send you a message about your child in class that day, assignments, upcoming information. It's really a great platform. So we do require all of our families to download this app and have it so that they can have quick communication with the teachers. Teachers don't answer their classroom telephones during instructional time. It becomes a major distraction for the students in the classroom. So it's very easy for them to, if you have something that's an emergency and you put it on Dojo, they'll get that notification. They can quickly skim it like I might be doing right now. And if it's something they know they need to respond right away, they can still be working with the kids and responding back to you. So it's really, really important that everybody download that, that Class Dojo app. That's for K-3. And then within the different grades, they might be using different apps. Ms. Belfield, I'm sorry, can you close that door because of the echo? Thank you. They'll be using different apps. They might use Seesaw in K1. Second grade may also use Seesaw. In the past, we used Google Classroom. We're not going to be using that this year. The only major change is Schoology is mandatory in third grade. Ms. Belfield, do we have any more new questions?
Yes, average class size as of now.
So the average class size as of right now, I have my lists right here. We are looking at max as I go through each one. The biggest class has nine in the classroom. And that is actually in one of our bigger classrooms that can more than accommodate 9. And that's on one day. What we did was we really tried to make it an even split. So we looked at the A to L, and then we looked at the M to Z. We pulled out all the fully remote, and we looked who was left at hybrid. And in order to really make sure that the class size was appropriate and it wasn't, too full on one day and empty on another, we did contact some families and asked if they would switch from one group to another group. So that's really the largest was the 9. So that's very good. Ms. Belfield?
The next question was for Mrs. Deere.
Okay, the next question is directed specifically for Mrs. Sear, so I am going to step away so that she can answer it.
Okay, the question is about retrieving items that were left last year.
From last year. Okay. So in case you weren't able to hear Ms. Belfield, the question that was asked is when will parents be receiving the items that were left here last year? All of the items will be returned to the students during the first week of school. I will be sending out an email in terms of splitting up the students by the first letter of their last name on the days that you can pick them up. And more than likely, I will be outside and you'll be able to come and I will distribute the items to those parents depending on your designated day. But I will send out an email so that you're aware of the dates that you need to pick up those items depending on your child's last name.
If the child graduated already, what about those items?
If your child was a third grade student and has already graduated and will be attending the middle school this year, those items were already distributed. We do have some of those items left that were still not picked up. If you please reach out to me through email, and I can arrange a day for you to come and pick that up before school starts.
Medication from the nurse.
Medication from the nurse will be distributed during the first week of school for any medication that we still have. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Cecere. Okay, looking through again with my notes. My email. I'm going to give Ms. Belfield a second to scan and see if we have any new questions. This session will be wrapping up by 11:30. So as I mentioned, if we have any additional questions, I'll share that Google Drive document. You can put your question in, and then we'll respond to you. We really tried to kind of anticipate questions. I am a parent myself. My daughter is going to be returning to her school. So what I tried to do was all the questions that I had for her principal, I tried to outline for you within my email. So I hope I gave you enough information. I know it was a really, really long email, but I really wanted to make sure that you had one spot to be able to go back and access everything. As I mentioned, the reopening plan, I inserted a hyperlink. So if you just click on where it says here, you can access our reopening plan. All the information is there as well. The Department of Health reopening guidelines can also be accessed on the hyperlink. The sample, and again, I have to reiterate because we had a couple of parents that called and said, I'm confused by my child's schedule that Mrs. Goodstein emailed. It's just a sample. Your child's teacher will be sharing something that looks exactly like that shows the A and the B. So you will know, you put it right on your fridge and you will know exactly what time your child needs to log in. I know there's questions about the nurse. The nurse will be back Monday. I've been in communication with her. She's been staying up to date on all of information being shared by the Department of Health. Also, the iLearn School's head nurse has been providing a lot of professional developments, flow charts, information as it comes from the state is being sent right down into each administrator in every building. Ms. Belfield is behind the scenes over here. I'm going to make her sit in front of the camera so that she can say hello and you can meet with her as well. She's the Assistant Director of Academics. So a lot of you have been having the IXL questions for summer packets. She's the lady that's been helping you. And anything moving forward in terms of like grading and assignments, she handles the academic piece. So I'm going to ask her to just pop in over here and say a quick hello.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a safe and healthy summer. As Ms. Goodstein said, our teachers have been working hard, where the academic teams have been working hard to kind of put together a program that runs seamlessly for the students. It may seem like a lot now as I'm reading the chat and reading your comments, but once you receive the teacher's schedules next week, it'll make more sense because they will be in line to the way that they will normally follow the schedule while they're in class. So again, if you have any questions about any academic programs or how your child will be pulled for a guiding reading group or what their intervention sessions may look like, you can just shoot me an email. My email is S as in Sam, Belfield, BELFIELD as in dog, @bergencharter.org. Again, if you have any questions regarding the academic programs or what remote learning looks like at home for the students or the hybrid model, just don't be afraid to send me an email. I'll answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Belfield. Once this session is over, the video recording will be put onto a YouTube link, which I'll share with all families by the end of the day. You can access it later. If you have any friends that missed it, you can let them know that it will be shared with a YouTube link that you can go on and view again. I really want to let everybody know that through the summer. We returned to the building in August, but we were in constant communication with each other. What are we going to do with this? How are we going to plan this? I'm really blessed to have an amazing staff and team here. Ms. Belfield, Mrs. Cecere, the ladies in the office, Ms. Burgos, Ms. Shaw, our security, IT, Mr. Dede, your teachers, most importantly, our custodial staff. These three people have not stopped working and cleaning and getting everything ready. So I'm really, really proud of everyone. And I want to thank all of you, our parents, for your patience with us as we ironed everything out, with meeting deadlines, with the great questions that you're coming up with. Okay, so we have a pickup question. What was the pickup question? Okay, very good question. Dismissal. So in the past, for our families who were with us before, know that we barricade Madonna Place for dismissal. The students are all brought out with their teacher by class. Because all the classes cannot come out at the same time, we are going to be dismissing by grade level. So Mrs. Cecere, Ms. Belfield and I, we're going to probably follow the same inclement weather, similar to that, where we're going to have our kindergartners come out first. They'll utilize the top. The children will wait with the teacher, and then the parents can all be standing in front of the building. Please, when you're standing outside waiting for your child, make sure you're wearing a mask, and please maintain social distancing. After the first few days, teachers will really kind of get to know who you are. You can kind of give a wave, a sign. Your children will see that it's you. They'll tap their teacher. There's my mom. Okay, we'll see you. And they head down. We do ask that you be patient with us at dismissal time, because we're not going to be able to dismiss everybody at the same time. So we'll get kindergarten out, first grade out, second grade out, third grade out. So dismissal is at 2:50. So if you are a third grade parent, I would say, wait till a little bit closer till 3 o'clock for your child to come outside. Again, we unfortunately cannot allow anybody in the building. So any office questions that you may have, you can either email the secretary or you can call, and she will advise you of, the next steps. So at this point, it is 11:32. I think we've hopefully gotten to the majority of your questions. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me on this virtual webinar meeting. I want to thank you for entrusting us with your children, whether that's hybrid, fully remote. We are here, we're a team, and it does take a village. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on at Bergen Arts and Science Charter School is our homeschool connection. So even through this pandemic, even through these uncertain times, we really want to make sure that communication remains strong. So we really do appreciate your patience with us while we ironed out all the details. We did not want to have an information session if we didn't have the information to give to you. So again, thank you so much. I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy. Ms. Belfield, you said it great in the chat. We're in this together. We're a team. Thank you so much. Say hello to all of your children for me. Tell them that I miss their faces. And I can't wait to see them again, whether it is when they come into school or on the Zoom meetings that I will definitely be popping in on and saying hello to everyone. So thank you so much. And you will be getting the YouTube link along with the Google Drive questionnaire shortly. So thank you all so much. And I see a question. You will use Zoom. Yes. Yes. Zoom is going to be the platform that the teachers are going to be using. The kids are familiar with it. The teachers are familiar with it. They really got creative in, things that they could do. So, and I did have a question about, somebody asked about connection issues and issues within Seesaw and applications. Those really weren't on our end. What we have to remember was during the pandemic, thousands of schools and students and children were all using these platforms. So sometimes there might have been connection issues. There might have been something with documents. That unfortunately is out of our control if it would have been on the part of Seesaw or Dojo. But I know they were minimal, and connection issues, again, where in the school is a lot different than the teachers' connection issues at their homes. Our Wi-Fi is very strong here. We have a lot of different ports for our Wi-Fi. Those questions that were asked, absolutely, connection issues will be much better. Ms. Belfield popped in with one other, nope, we're good. All right, Bergen Elementary families, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a wonderful day.